The weather has been cold here for the last 3 days, and it's going to be very difficult for the players in this afternoon's match. And let's look now at the two teams. No changes in the New Zealand team for today's game. There have been problems though. Mark Shaw, number 6, hardly trained for this match. He's had a heavy dose of the flu, was confined to bed until late this week. However, you can't keep the cowboy down. He'll be there with all his usual fire on the side of the All Black scrum. That means the pack that played at Wellington so well in the second test is intact, as are the backs. And the captain once again is Andy Dalton. There are 4 changes in the British Isles team for today's game. The fullback is Gwyn Evans, who was chosen for this tour as a winger, but I think we all knew that the time was eventually come when he would have to be played where he is more at home, and that's the fullback wearing number 15. Into the centres comes John Rutherford to play outside Ollie Campbell. Onto the side of the scrum comes another Scot, Jim Calder, replacing John O'Driscoll, while injuries to Bob Norster have brought Steve Bainbridge into the second row as locking partner for Maurice Colclough. Kieran Fitzgerald is the captain as usual, making this the 5th game in a row on this tour that the captains of the two teams have marked each other. Former All Black from 1967 to 70, Graham Thorne, is with me again on the commentary today. Graham, what will these conditions mean to the game? It looks a wee bit like a lottery of Kit Rush and hope.
Yes, that would sum it up correctly, Keith, and it's such a pity that these conditions have come to Dunedin because, as I said before, the ground committee down here has done so much. They haven't played on Carisbrook for 2 months, and then the rain comes and it's, as you say, made it into a lottery. And although the ground may look very nice from a distance, you can see now those great puddles of water that look like those barrels that apples used to sort of float around in at fairgrounds. You can see all the water on the field, but the two teams are under tremendous difficulties, and I think the lineouts are going to be so crucial for the sides. The side that actually gets the ball well to its halfback will probably win this game, but conditions such as this are made to New Zealand teams. The worse the conditions, the better New Zealand teams play, and we all remember 1975 at Eden Park in Auckland when the rain just fell down and New Zealand won that by 24-0.
There they are, some of the many hundreds of brave supporters who are here from Great Britain to see this chance of the Lions of 83 to try and keep the series alive for a possible share of 2 tests each at the end of the tour. Shortly, the national anthems. There's the British Isles team preparing underneath the stand. The New Zealanders arriving, and shortly they'll come out into a freezing cold stadium to play this, the 3rd test. There's Jock Hobbs, the flank forward, who's had 3 games against the Lions so far for 3 wins. So has Andy Hayden, Warwick Taylor, John Ashworth, and the team's coming onto the field here at Carisbrook. Well, there they are. That is going to be one of our problems today, with the rain driving across the field towards our cameras. But there's the man who's been under a cloud all week with the flu, Mark Shaw, and he is playing today his 35th game for the All Black in his 17th Test match. The man they call Cowboy, and that's good to see him warming up in that way, but he's a real tough character, is Mark Shaw, and I think the All Blacks will be very pleased to have him on their side this afternoon. So there it is. The immediate thing will be to check the ground conditions to see if they're going to be able to hold up in any way for this afternoon's game. Some of these Lions backs just warming up there. They may not see too much action today. There's John Rutherford, number 13, who has been wearing the number 10 shirt for most of his rugby on this tour, but played centre against North Auckland last Saturday and did it quite well. Good enough to give Jim Telfer and the Lions selectors confidence to play him in that position today. A new referee for today's Test match, Dick Byers of Australia. And the referee begins the test with a kick from Rutherford down to Bernie Fraser. Everybody's testing each other out. Alan Hewson, of course, gets the big kick, and Alan Hewson is, very interestingly enough, is playing this game in mittens. And there it is. Now that is eminently sensible in these weather conditions. Alan Hewson wearing a pair of gloves.
But you can see, Keith, how the ball didn't go out. When it landed, it just stayed still, and this is going to be a difficulty as well.
7 off the back for the Lions. To the right is Peter Winterbottom. First ball, bounces behind. Loveridge, Kieran Fitzgerald, Wayne Smith, number 10. Paxton over the top. Roy Laidlaw, the ball is still pretty dry. Campbell skidded off his left boot. Outside the 22. Good catch by Wilson. Loveridge caught by Rutherford. Smith, Fraser chasing. Boisterous start by the British Isles. What a good catch that was by Stuart Wilson. He's also wearing gloves. And remember, in the second test in Wellington, they wore thermal underwear underneath their jerseys. And it looks as though Wilson may be doing that as well today. Very cold indeed. Fitzgerald, a good throw, taken by the New Zealanders. That is a penalty against Jim Calder, number 6. He's playing his first Test match in the series, and he skidded ahead of the offside line and couldn't get back.
And already you can see the different whistle that the referee used. Francis Palmard, the French whistle. There's nothing like the sound of an Australian whistle.
Yes, you could pick an Australian referee just by listening to his whistle. They must have a different shaped T, I think. Dick Byers also refereed a match here in 1981 between Scotland and the All Blacks, and it was a very, very cold day that day. He's the only suntan man out there, that's for sure. Roy Laidlaw, Campbell, again on the left foot. Fraser waiting. Tony Fraser, John Rutherford. Support him there from Murray Mexdad. Brave stuff there from Bernie Fraser, and one gets the impression that the players are willing to have a lick with the ball while it's still pretty dry. Loveridge, Smith. That's a good little kick. This is Gwyn Evans. Hook back for Loveridge. Did he knock it on? Yes, he did.
Well, you can see how the ball is just slowing down and stopping, and the number of times that a fullback has to pick up a ball at stationary is very few in matches, but today you might see it more than ever. I think the little kicks, little chip kicks through, little grubber kicks might be on as well.
Ready for the wheel.
10 metre mark to the left, Lions territory. That's not out either. That curl back and field taken by Andy Hayden. John Ashworth backing in, forming the wedge. Underneath it all, Kieran Finton Fitzgerald. Irish captain. Once again, his reputation on the line. Loveridge. Laidlaw. Campbell on the right, but he slipped. Who's going to get this one? Hewson. Playing it up to halfway, skidding it out. Well, I'm sure overseas viewers will be interested in the reaction of New Zealand crowds to Alan Hewson. He gets a really tough time, especially in the city of Christchurch, because they really like their man, who is Robbie Deans. And Deans had an excellent game against the Lions, but so does the man you see there, Alan Hewson, with a good beginning in today's Test match, the third. Murray Mexted, number 8. Dave Loveridge. Stu Wilson going high again. Well, there's Dave Loveridge. Scored a try here in that match against Scotland in 1981. And the star of the second test. So it's Price at the front, standing next to Ashworth. Colclough against Hayden. Jones blocking against Knight. Then Bainbridge against Wetton. Pitch towards the back. The advantage is applied in New Zealand there. Now we go back for the throw, and it wasn't straight.
Yeah, there were two knock-ons there. The first one by the Lions, the second by New Zealand, I think. New Zealand gets the ball.
Rutherford. Good kick by Rutherford. Skidded to open space. Wilson. Oh, he did that well. And right through the water goes Stuart Wilson. Wilson, the leader of the outer backs. And that was a good breakdown kick by John Rutherford. Good position here for the Lions, but they need the ball from this line out. Bainbridge thrown down his side, though. And notice the referee assumes a position directly behind the line out, and he can really get a good view there of the throwing in.
Well, New Zealand lost that tight head, and the Lions are now back down by the All Blacks line.
Loveridge kicking through to Evans. Oh, there it is, a watery sun shining through here at Dunedin. But it's like the conditions for the second test, extremely cold. Loveridge. This is Wayne Smith. Dalton through, Colcock, Laidlaw, Campbell, he's kicking again for the 5th time, I think it is. He hasn't let it go from set pieces. That was Wetton. Loose ball, Bainbridge. Replacement locked forward, nudged again. Baird chasing! Oh, let's have a look at the referee's decision. Has he given the try? I think he's given the try. Yes, he has. A try for Roger Baird. And my word, that was a hair's breadth decision by referee Dick Byers, and we'll have the advantage of the replay. Have a look at it, and you be the judge. Towed through by Bainbridge, through Wilson's legs, and look at Baird. Was he ahead? And look at this, the all-important dive. Oh, what a good decision. A good try, a fair try for Roger Baird. So there's Willie John McBride, the most capped international rugby player of all time, manager of this British Isles team, and he will be satisfied, I'm sure, that his team has scored first in this test match. Campbell with the conversion. What a good kick. Well, it just went underneath the bar. Fine kick by Campbell. Lions lead by 4-0. Let's look at this again.
Well, you can see now how it was Ollie Campbell that set it up. A good take by Bainbridge. And you'll see that perhaps one of the Lions was offside, but he wasn't, because it was Ollie Campbell who went behind Mext as he took the ball, and you can see he kicked it on again. Bainbridge kicked it on. Now here's the speed from Baird. Now watch him as he dives over, go into the advertising hoardings. There's a try, definitely a try. Now watch him as he goes on and on and on and on, and bang, and that hurt.
Well, one could be critical of the advertising hoardings so close to the field, but I guess the rugby union might say they need the ding, the money, but someone's going to get hurt one of these days, slipping and sliding into those hoardings, which are very, very close to the corner. So there it is. That's the picture that'll go down in history. Roger Baird dives and scores the first try. So the All Blacks are behind. How will they react? Ollie Campbell. He's using that left boot a lot, isn't he? Wilson right back to Hewson. He likes the left boot, of course. That's his more natural kicking side.
Well, Alan Hewson hasn't put a foot wrong today. He must have watched the telecast on Tuesday at Canterbury. But he is a good fullback, and no doubt every time we go to Canterbury we'll hear about Robbie Deans, but Alan Hewson hasn't done anything wrong yet.
So blowing in the breeze that time. Bainbridge has made quite an impression early on in this match. That's Warwick Taylor kicking through back into the centre and over towards the left. What a good kick by Warwick Taylor. Well, Warwick Taylor, you can see the little shirt he's got on underneath there. Fine young prospect, his third international today, unbeaten against the Lions in 3 matches. This is Mark Shaw, scrummer's wheel.
Mr. Byers very quick to pick up the offside on Roy Laidlaw, and Alan Hewson's going to have a kick at goal. We'll see now how the scrum does buckle. Murray Mexted, number 8 there. You watch Roy Laidlaw before the ball comes out of the scrum. You can see him there. Well, it could either offside or tackling without the ball.
So the wind is, I think, coming across the field, yes. So he's more or less kicking into the wind here. 35 metres out on the angle. Number 15, Alan Hewson. Oh, good kick. Excellent kick. And New Zealand are on the board.
That was a good kick. And in these conditions, even though the ball's not that heavy yet, you could hear the sound as he hit it, and it went. And that is a very important kick for New Zealand.
Very important too for Alan Hewson's confidence. He has started this match extremely well. So Campbell kicks low for the skiddy one. He's been listening to Earl Curtin, who recommended that tactic here before the game. Here's Murray Mexted. That's a pretty handy thump. This is Murray Mexted's 20th international today. He's from the Wellington Football Club. Behind him is Hobbs, in front of him Shaw. Jumping against Paxton. Lions got that ball as well. Laidlaw. Aren't the Lions playing with a lot more purpose here? Campbell putting the high one through. That was Mexted waiting in midfield. Hard to catch, a slippery piece of leather. And Good Evans tipped up.
Well, the new line-out man, Steve Bainbridge, is having a very good game for the Lions, and this is where it's so important on a wet day to get that good position in the line-out. There he is there.
Wetton got that one. Loveridge. Jock Hobbs, Fitzgerald onto him. Kieran Fitzgerald, number 2. Players around offside. Oh no, coming over the top. The last man away is Ian Paxton. Remember, he injured a leg in the international at Wellington.
See now how the referee penalised the Lions for going over the top of that ruck, and the ball's still in it as well.
And so the push went up the touchline to this position, just outside the 22. It was a place kick taken. So the Lions are getting line out ball. Steve Bainbridge. Good jump there by Paxton. They've got another one. Here's Campbell. Well, while we're talking about Irishmen with typical names, this is Seamus Oliver Campbell. He's 26th international today, and be very anxious to put points on the board for his side today. Didn't score, of course, at Wellington, which was a rarity for him. Didn't have a shot at goal, in fact. Shorter line out, 10-metre mark. 16 minutes gone, first half. It's 4 points to 3. Rutherford in the game again. Houston stopped it. Campbell smothered by Mexted. Did it go forward? Referee whistles, yes.
Well, the tactics the Lions are playing are very good tactics. It's all revolving around Ollie Campbell, the little chip kick over and kick and follow. That's the name of the game today. And the Lions are doing it better than the All Blacks are. They're getting more ball.
Loveridge. Wayne Smith. Wilson's got room to run. This is a famous first for the series for Wilson. Nudged ahead, Quinn Evans. Slow to turn. John Carlton. Alan Houston up. Hobbs made the tackle. Roy Laidlaw. Well, good to see Stuart Wilson on the right wing at last in the series, getting some space to run.
Yes, that's the sort of thing that Stu Wilson wants, that confidence back, and it only comes from getting the ball and having a go at your opposite number or doing something constructive. He only needs that try to equal Ian Kirkpatrick's record, but he's not seeing the ball.
That's the 22-metre line. Mexted and Paxted. Again, that's the third or fourth time that John Rutherford has soccer kicked up the centre. Houston.
Well, Alan Houston had not many options open to him. He had to grab a kick it out. He managed to kick it far enough before it hit the ground, so it just ran into touch.
Four points to 3. The British Isles lead, 18 minutes gone, first half, and they're going extremely well at the lineouts. It's a new look Lions team today. Ollie Campbell lost his footing there. They've got it again. Laidlaw. Fraser. Collision with Laidlaw. Loveridge. Offside. Injury break here after 18 minutes, and it's the Scotsman Calder who's down. Very interesting to see Roy Laidlaw, Graham. He had a really disastrous day in the second test, and my word, it just goes to show you when the forwards go better, so does the halfback. He's looking very good today.
And so Steve Bainbridge, he's making all the difference to this Lions side, taking two-handed takes and getting a lot of support from the old hand Morris Colclough. And as we keep saying, the the side that gets the tidiest ball is going to win this game.
So this man's team 1 point ahead. Laidlaw again, shovels it. Rutherford using the kick that time. Straight across field. Well, again, it's difficult ball. It's getting wetter and slippery. You can get that impression, I'm sure. And the Lions still keeping it moving out. One pass, sometimes two into the backs. Lineouts at the moment are 8-5. Cleanly won ball to the Lions. Steve Bainbridge back at number 4 from the front. There's next step through on that one. Ashworth is number 1. He got tipped up by his old adversary, Graham Price. Roy Laidlaw's career in international football has gone on a parallel path to Dave Loveridge's. Remember, Loveridge was reserved to Mark Donaldson for about 9 or 10 tests. Well, Roy Laidlaw was reserved for Scotland 13 times before he got in. And like Loveridge, once he got in, he's never been dropped. And he's now played 22 consecutive internationals for Scotland and has been the Scottish captain too. There's Fitzgerald, threw off the front. Lost forward. Kieran Fitzgerald from the St Mary's club. He is the 4th player from that club in the last 6 years to captain the Irish team. Pretty good record for St Mary's in Dublin. 10-metre mark, New Zealand. There it is after 20 minutes in the 3rd test. The Lions have a try and the All Blacks a penalty. It's Colclough against Hayden. There's big Steve Bainbridge, 2 metres 01 tall. Colclough got that one. Has come to the New Zealand side. Wayne Smith. Is it wide? Wilson's pointing to a mark on the ground. The ball made an indentation. He thought it was in, but Smith's kick, in fact, ruled out on the full.
So New Zealand trying to bring the ball back close to the touchline there. Stu Wilson following up.
There's Andy Dalton, New Zealand's captain. Very experienced props with them. They were propping together 6 seasons ago for the All Blacks. Calder to Laidlaw, got it up again to Baird. 3 Scotsmen in a row. Calder again, Laidlaw. They all played here in similar conditions in 1981. They know what it's like here in the very cold conditions of Carisbrook, this famous ground in the deep south. There have been so many great battles over the years. And today's game shaping up as one of the best. Loveridge bounced it out. Nice kick.
Well, Dave Loveridge is the champion halfback of the short side, the side to the uninitiated that's close to the touchline, and the other side, the blind side, little chips, just driving the Lions back.
Oh, that one didn't look straight.
There's going to be some.
Winterbottom and Hobbs, the 2 number 7s there.
Well, nobody jumped in that line-out. There's a bit of pushing, shoving and standing on people in that line-out, and I'm sure that the referee is going to penalise someone in the next couple of line-outs.
Big Gary Knight up in the front row. Against him is Staff Jones, little Welshman. 2 Pontypool props for the Lions today. Maxted, Off the shore. 10-metre line, Lions territory. Gary Wetton, he can run! What a good run by Gary Wetton. Now he kicks it back towards his own man. And Gary Knight going in. Inside the 22 Lions territory. There's the goal line, up in the top right.
Well, good play by Gary Wetton, running like a back. I remember Andy Hayden here in 1977 running like a back as well, but the good play by John Ashworth as he came in and tried to smuggle the ball back.
A good position here. Loveridge came out right. It's coming out to him. Loveridge, a good dummy. What a good piece of play by Dave Loveridge, but they're onto him. They're watching him very closely.
Good play by Roger Baird, watching the man with the ball inside his own 22, going for the man with the ball, not following his own man, Stuart Wilson, as he came inside. And now it's the pressure's on Kieran Fitzgerald for his throw-in. That's the goal line in the background.
It went a good throw to Bainbridge, deflect to Winterbottom. Here's Campbell. That was good, tight, efficient rugby there by the Lions. And again, Steve Bainbridge got the clearance to enable Ollie Campbell to kick. So now it's changed a little because it's come back to the New Zealand choice of where the ball should go.
Now they're going to throw it down the back and try a charge into midfield.
Next, Ed Fields, Paxton. Whistle's gone here. Looks like not straight down there.
The thought was there, but the direction was a little bit out. So the Lions get the put in now.
Oh, that could be a forward pass, I think. Laidlaw made an error of judgment that time, could cost them points. And what does the referee say here? The hands went up. Very close.
They went forward.
So here are the New Zealanders putting the heat, if you can use that word on such a day, on the British Isles.
Well, here's the big blind. It's Murray Mexted putting down. Looks like Murray Mexted is going to take the ball off the back of the scrum. He does.
Well, it's untidy. Defensive penalty for the Lions. The All Blacks over the top. Graham Thorne, you're shaking your head. You look confused with that decision.
Well, perhaps Mr. Byers could see the ball more than we could, but perhaps we can see it now. It looked to me that the ball was right there, and there's no ways the ball was going to come out of there, and I wondered why he didn't blow it up. But actually, he was right. You can see the ball did pop out.
So the clearance from that penalty to the Lions has come up to outside the 22. Not many penalties yet. 4-2 in favour to New Zealand at the moment. John Ashworth, Colclough, Hayden, Knight and Bainbridge. It's against Wetton. And so that little attack by the All Blacks has been turned back with the assistance of two penalties to make the clearance into New Zealand territory again. 28 minutes gone, first half, 4-3. A try by Baird, a penalty by Hewson. And Alan Hewson hasn't been in the game for about 10 minutes now. Contested jump there for Hayden. That's Ashworth at halfway. Good setup by the New Zealanders. Loveridge, short pass to Smith. Warwick Taylor nudging it wide. Fraser chasing. Gwyn Evans. Still there. Hobbs and Smith. Michael Kiernan, number 12. I don't think he's touched the ball yet. And Stephen Pokeri also hasn't seen the ball. He's number 13, also wearing gloves. And when you think of the number of times he's handled the ball, he needs them.
think Jock Hobbs, as he went down to try and save that ball going over. You see the little kick from Taylor, and it stops. And watch Good Evans comes across. He beats Bernie Fraser easily, but across comes. Watch Hobbs as he goes down here, as Winterbottom gets him and turns him over. That's where he hurt his shoulder there.
There's Peter Stokes there, checking on the touchline. Jock Hobbs. New Zealand physiotherapist, and there is the big New Zealand forwards, Mark Shaw, Wetton. So the match resumes. 29 minutes, first half. Fitzgerald, Bainbridge high. Next hit, looking dangerous. Campbell up. Oh, passed it up the ground. Rutherford in a hurry. Here's the ball, a lottery here. And let's see what the referee says about that. And I tell you what, those signs are very dangerous.
Dave Loveridge was not impressed by running into that sign there, and I think we said before the match the signs were very close. You can see Ollie Campbell, was he tackled? The big kick from John Rutherford. Now watch the jumps for the ball. It goes forward actually off Smith, and there's Dave Loveridge into the sign.
Well, they shortened the in goal at Lancaster Park to put more hoardings up. On a skiddy day, someone's bound to get hurt. Here is Mark Shaw up to the 22. Loveridge, Smith, Hobbs number 7, Campbell another tackle. Kicked away by Calder. Penalty to New Zealand at the 22.
And Kieran Fitzgerald kicked Dalton in the back.
Let's have a look at the replay of this. And a penalty in there. Kieran Fitzgerald away to the left. Andy Dalton, number 2, there going down.
Well, you can decide on whether Kieran Fitzgerald kicked Andy Dalton. I already have.
Alan Hewson. 30 minutes gone. So the New Zealand team, after half an hour, are in the lead in Dunedin.
Here's the kick from Alan Hewson. Very relaxed, and New Zealand hit the lead.
There's a television New Zealand film crew here today making a program about Alan Hewson, which will screen next week. Just all about the controversy of him being the fullback and the challenge from Robbie Deans and the great rivalry that there is for that position. So that should make excellent viewing. And Hewson really playing up for them today. He's really hot to trot this afternoon with 2 penalty goals and helped the All Blacks out to 6-4 lead today. Fitzgerald throws. Bainbridge a good jump. Laidlaw. Campbell. That's the tactic. Here's Hewson. No, it's Wilson who sensibly let it bounce. So Hewson, the left-footed drop kick. And it hit the lion, the little mascot there at the halfway line. Well, I wonder what the yobbos on the Lancaster Park bank are thinking now, Graham.
Yes.
They threw beer cans at us the other day.
Well, the ones that did know who it was. We don't remember. We've got long memories.
That's right. I'm sure Deans, fine prospect though he is admiring the fullback's play today of Alan Hewson, because I think everyone who's suffered with him will be pleased that he's going so well today. Near halfway. Roy Laidlaw, the Lions now in arrears. Campbell, Wilson. Still in play. He's put them through on side. You see Wilson. Now he's after it again.
Pulled by the jersey too as he went after the ball, but I think he might have been penalised for being offside before he was interfered with.
Well, Stu Wilson's not prepared to stand out in the wing and get cold. He's in everything this afternoon. One for Wetton. Smith, Taylor, he's outside, 22 I mean. Baird and Evans. Gwyn Evans from fullback. Good kick by Gwyn Evans, slides it along the touchline. Gwyn Evans from the Maesteg club. And they provided a player here in the 1971 game, Chico Hopkins. Remember, he came on when Gareth Edwards went off in the test match here in 1971. That was the first test. Roy Laidlaw, big ball to Campbell. Got a bit of hoisting there, Graham. Well, I remember George Napier used to play in gloves sometimes. Well, I don't remember it, but I've heard the stories. And that sense, Billy Wallace played in the hat, Graham.
You beat me to it.
Yes, Billy Wallace back in 1905 in the early days of All Black touring. Used to play in a hat to keep away the sun. Now a quick throw in from Baird to Laidlaw. Bounced over Hewson's head. New Zealand 6, British Isles 4. Running out now towards half-time. About 4 minutes to go. Laidlaw, Campbell, he let this one go to Rutherford. Carlton coming in from the right wing. Winterbottom over the top. Shaw got trampled there. Here's Wayne Smith. And again, diving in for the ball was Jock Hobbs. You look away to the left to see Mark Shaw, but and he is did hurt him. He's gone down there. He was trampled very heavily, and somebody else is taking a break to give perhaps Shaw a chance to recover.
Well, it was a good watch, a good tackle actually. Across came Hobbs there and Shaw. Now watch number 6 Shaw as he engulfs John Carlton. And number 6, watch, over goes Ian Paxton. Number 8, is it? No, oh, it's number 3, who is Graham Price.
So the injured man is actually Wayne Smith.
Wayne Smith was in trouble on Tuesday when he got trampled on by David Irwin.
Here at Carisbrook and Dunedin, the crowd, big boisterous crowd here again, they're enjoying it.
He's not right.
He's not right. Wayne Smith is not right. So we may yet see Robbie Deans come into this game. He's the reserve covering that position. Difficulties there in the handling. Rutherford, isn't he having a good game? John Rutherford, a beautiful runner with the ball. Knocked on there by Campbell. But John Rutherford perhaps using the good ground there of the cricket pitch area here at Carisbrook to get moving. And again, we look at, is it Wayne Smith again? And Wayne Smith, I think, is going to leave the field. That's bad luck for New Zealand. Didn't play the first test. came in for the second, and that looks like a groin injury perhaps for Wayne Smith. He's in bad shape. The New Zealand reserves are Arthur Stone, Robbie Deans and Andy Donald in the back, so maybe Stone will come in.
What
and that'll
about
mean
Pokeri at first 5/8?
Yes, Arthur Stone, there he is. He had 2 tests against France in 1981, and Smith doubling down. Stone warms up. The game goes on with a kick down there, and so it'll be a line-out. And Arthur Stone will come into the game, and I think then we'll see the very interesting sight of Stephen Pokeri coming into first 5/8. So there he is, Stephen Pokeri. Now a lot of people think he should be there anyway. Well, we picked our New Zealand team before the series started, Graham, and we put Pokeri in that position. And there is the sad sight of a man who's battled back to form after a back injury, out of the game through injury. Slipping away from Stu Wilson, who's at centre now. Hobbs, Laidlaw, Rutherford. And Arthur Stone still trotting up and down the back, waiting to come into the ball game. He must be surely on there. I mean, Wayne Smith's well and truly out of the game.
Number 17.
And here comes Arthur Stone on for his third test appearance. Now big burly Maori going, where is he going? Out to centre, Pokeri, Taylor and Stone now. Murray Mexted rejoins the forward pack. Still a couple of minutes to go till half time. 2-point lead to New Zealand. This is John Carlton. Alan Hewson. Again, a good gain of yards, of metres by Alan Hewson. That's the 10-metre line to the left. Now, Hobbs and Winterbottom. Lineouts are still favouring the Lions by 12 to 10. There's Stu Wilson doing his soccer goalkeeping act. Laidlaw, Evans decided not to catch it. Roy Laidlaw, out to Carlton. John Carlton beats Stone, ball it back in field. Arthur Stone thrown down, Loveridge. There's Mark Shaw, now driving off, halfway there to the right. Michael Kiernan's gone on there to help the Lions forward cause. Kick for Fraser. That's the Byrie Wellington left winger, Bernie Fraser from the Hutt Valley Marist Club. His 18th test match today. And that is half-time. 2 Hewson penalties to a Baird try. The All Blacks lead at the end of the first 40 minutes by 6-4.
So out the Lions' way. There's Campbell, charged down by Stephen Pokeri. It's the first time that Ollie Campbell hasn't got the kick-off. So Stephen Pokeri at first 5 for New Zealand, as it's Kieran Fitzgerald now to put the ball in. throw the ball in.
And this is Jim Calder kicking through. Warwick Taylor. Out to the Lions, Campbell. Oh, good one for Baird at the 22-metre line. Roger Baird. Oh, Wilson went after and got him beautifully. Gwyn Evans, though. Rutherford. Short and over. Good try. What a great second half beginning for the Lions. And John Rutherford punches the air in triumph as the Lions hit the lead again.
Well, good quick hands. This was the answer, and they got the ball wide very quickly. The All Blacks in a bit of disarray, and into the extra man came Gwyn Evans. Now watch Gwyn Evans, number 15, is Roger Baird, running with the ball under the inside hand. Inside, a beautiful pickup by Gwyn Evans, and then there's Rutherford inside. Now what's the double movement here, was it? His body momentum took him over.
So the Lions come together in a group about halfway as Campbell prepares to kick. And that is a shock for a New Zealand team which was looking pretty good towards the end of the first half after a good beginning to the match by the Lions. Campbell from wide out, scuffs the ball just wide. So the Lions have a 2-point lead again. And let's look at this again from where Roger Baird had the ball. Baird, he went wide, but Wilson chases hard, puts up the gas and gets Baird. But Baird fires it back inside, well picked up by Evans. You see Rutherford in support, and Rutherford, his momentum took him across. And remember, that's allowed. From the kickoff, back to Ollie Campbell. So the Lions at the moment don't need Ollie Campbell's kicking to get the lead. They have it already at 8-6. Rain still falling in this dramatic battle in the cold conditions of Carisbrook. So Willie John McBride not giving any secrets away, but he'll be feeling a little warmer inside. So Pulkeri at first 5 in the absence of Smith. And a hailstorm coming across the ground at the moment.
Well, Stephen, Pulkeri playing fly half. This might make a bit of difference to the New Zealand side, because Pulkeri is not really a kicking player. He likes to pass the ball, and whether or not these are the conditions to pass the ball, I think he might be better to just start using the boot.
Roy Laidlaw, Gary Wetton kicking them away, loose in midfield, Hobbs towing on, Stone is there too, Gwyn Evans going in, it's there for Loveridge, whistle.
Well, a little over-anxious, the All Blacks, to just knock the ball on when they look quite good there.
Defensive penalty for the British Isles. Well, the Lions have surprised today. Remember, they didn't score a try in either of the first 2 test matches. And here they are with 2 tries to their credit, New Zealand with none. And that incidentally squares up the try count for the series at 2 each. Nexted going back. So it's nearly on the 10-metre line, All Blacks territory. Lineouts were 13-10 to the Lions in the first half. And that's a surprise after the good work by the New Zealand pack in the earlier games in the series. Offside play. Both sides, incidentally, changed their jerseys at half-time. Or some of them did. You can see them. Campbell, number 13, Rutherford. And that's sensible stuff. A lot of the New Zealanders did too. Alan Hewson trying the old Gary Owen. Paxton went down. Paxton is hurt. Yes, he went down very heavily. It's so cold here in Dunedin. There's a light shower of rain falling at the moment, and little hailstones that fall and bounce across everything. So that rain you see there is actually very small hailstones.
I think Mr. Byers said the offside there by Stu Wilson. And they're taking the penalty, the Lions. It's just tremendous to watch Dave Loveridge when he gets the ball behind the scrum. He's got all the time in the world to just have a look and then kick the ball.
I also like the way in the wet, it's an abject lesson for any young player that he could just cradle the ball in his hands and it slithers and slips and then it's in his grasp. 8 points to 6. The Lions are in the lead. Anxious moments for New Zealand rugby at the moment here in Dunedin. Laidlaw, Campbell, the long kick this time. Newsom coming onto his left side. Oh wow, great kick from the 22 right up to nearly to the 10-metre mark, Lions territory from Alan Hewson. So can these New Zealand forwards get into the same groove they were in Wellington in the second half? Hobbs down, Winterbottom there too. Going back for... Hello, something's broken out between Shaw and Winterbottom. Loveridge, lovely away to Bokeri. Good one from Bokeri. Evans waiting. Outside the 22, Evans. Had a good game. Bainbridge had his kick charged down. Fraser. And there's Willie John McBride watching as I think Dave Loveridge there charged that kick down and hit his hand, and his hand is ringing with the pain. It'll be very cold, remember. So inside the 22 now. Fitzgerald to throw. Steve Bainbridge has it. Roy Laidlaw clears.
Well, Steve Bainbridge has made all the difference to that Lions line out in the middle there. He's getting some tremendous two-handed takes. There he is there, replacing Robert Norster, who's out of the tour.
That's a Bokeri. Stones left it behind. Winterbottom. Ollie Campbell. Loose ball. Paxton, Laidlaw, Rutherford. Well, that try has boosted the Lions' confidence again. They started well in the match, but the All Blacks, one felt, were just getting their momentum rolling towards the end of the first half, and now the Lions are getting things clicking smoothly again. Although there's an injured man down at the back, it's having a look at Winterbottom. There are the All Black reserves. Robbie Deans in the foreground. Jeff Old, Brian Lahore, Bryce Rope. So Loveridge at halfway. Troy Laidlaw's ball. Two marked each other here in that international in 81. Ian Paxton with the ball in his feet also played that day. Jim Calder, Peter Winterbottom, Ian Paxton slipped out of his hand. Yes, the Lions are definitely playing with a lot of thrust at the moment.
And they're playing like the All Blacks played in the second test. They're keeping it very close to their scrums and the mauls.
So Loveridge bustled. Calder. Again, good work by Calder. Fraser almost counting him out. And Jim enjoyed that. Good piece of play too. He dribbled it through. We haven't seen much dribbling in international rugby recently. There was some great dribbling here by the All Blacks in 77 on a muddy day. And on the Lions side again. Deflection from Bainbridge. Staff Jones doing good work in there. It's down and up for Laidlaw. Away to Campbell. This is Rutherford. Running back into the eye of the storm there. Laidlaw down to Fraser in the corner. And their catch by Bernie Fraser. That shot with the steam coming out of the mouth really says it all as the sun is shining at last in Dunedin. Well, the touring party's been here for days and days, and that's the first we've seen of it. And Bernie Fraser celebrates by kicking about 45 metres up the touchline. It was a very good catch. And the fair catch claimed by Bernie Fraser. Boom. Boom again. It's a very much better game than I think everybody expected that the conditions would allow. And I think also, Graham, we have to say that the ground conditions are not as bad as one expected.
No, they're not. The sprigs have actually drained the ground a little. You can see there's a bit of mud, but it's nothing like we thought it was going to be. And perhaps the 2 months that they didn't play it has made all that difference. But the All Blacks now have to lift their game. They've got to score a try.
They've got Stephen Pokeri at first 5'8". He has the ball now. Still a kicking game from him. It's Quinn Evans. Ball deflected in field again to Laidlaw. This one's gone to Hewson. He's got men back behind him. Alan Hewson bring it forward. Players have got to get out of the 10-metre circle. It's hard to see the touchline now. I guess it's difficult to paint the lines. But that's, again, good gain up by the New Zealand team. They're on at a position where they can strike on their own throw-in. Big crowd here behind them as Dalton, the New Zealand captain, prepares to throw. New Zealand down by 2 points in the second half. Bainbridge again deflected by Paxton to him. It's come to the New Zealanders though. Loveridge. Fraser. Ollie Campbell, the saviour, right across in the corner. It'll be a scrum though for the ball lost forward. Someone's down on the New Zealand side. It's Dave Loveridge.
Well, again, David Loveridge in action. There go from the line-out, which the All Blacks actually won. Watch him now, looking at all the options. Sells the big dummy. Mark Shaw tries to come inside. Bernie Fraser again having trouble with his hands. And Ollie Campbell saves the day.
And that tells you an awful lot about today's weather conditions in Dunedin. Blowing on his hands to keep them warm.
And now the pressure must go on the Lions scrum. And Mr. Byers wants the scrum to be parallel to the goal line. Don't forget, once it goes over that goal line, no one can be offside. This is where Dave Loveridge scored his try in 1981.
Yes, Ian Paxton very quick to drop down here. We gained 5 metres here, so that's taken the pressure off the Lions a little, but it's the New Zealanders put in this time, which means they are likely to get it and maybe try and move. It'll have to come out to the right because they're very close to the touchline there. Maybe Mexted's the man. Piling in, the Lions forwards are still in formation, slow to join.
Well, that was the move we all thought it would be, but Murray Mexted couldn't get the momentum off. And I think it's better for him to stand off the back of the scrum and let Dave Loveridge feed him so he's got that momentum.
A little word there between Loveridge and Fraser. Let's look this time. Here's Fraser with it. And John Carlton there. Whistle's gone again. They lost it forward. John Carlton, he really loves playing against Fraser. They've got a tremendous rivalry. In fact, every time John Carlton's played against the All Blacks, he's marked Bernie Fraser, going back to a couple of years, back to 79.
Well, again, down the back, perhaps in charge into the middle to give themselves some blind. Or is it Gary Wetton, perhaps?
Picked it right again, Graham. We're doing pretty well down in this corner. Now Loveridge is tied up. Next it to Pukeri, to Warwick Taylor. Spilt forward, advantage for the Lions. Roy Laidlaw clears. Well, there is a wave of New Zealand attacks on the Lions line, which they have repulsed. They've also scored 2 tries to 2 penalties and lead 8-6, and they're going well. Holding up the New Zealand team, are starting to get that big black machine rolling.
But good defence on the Lions' part. They're not panicking. They've got a 2-point lead.
"17 minutes, second half. Pukeri again, it's a kick. Not a bad one. Everyone's gathering in midfield. Laidlaw caught. That's Mexted with it. This is Ashworth. Fitzgerald envelops him well. Mark Shaw going in to dig for the ball. And it's the New Zealand put in. And this is a better position. And let's see if we can just... You see a word there between Dalton and Loveridge. Now Loveridge is moving out to the right, having a word with everybody so they know what's on. And it could be that it comes to the left, to Bernie Fraser.
Well, they've got quite a big blind here. That's the 15-metre mark you can just see there. And Murray Mexted there at the back.
It's going out to the right. I think the original tension was to the left. There's where Loveridge is so dangerous. Pukeri, fast hands. Stone, Taylor. Lots of red shirts across. Arthur Stone. Right, Loveridge. Wilson. And he's got his try. Number 1, Stu Wilson. And that is his 16th try in internationals, and he equals the all-time All Black Test record held by Ian Kirkpatrick.
Well, once again, it revolved round Dave Loveridge, but it was started by Arthur Stone and then John Ashworth again. Now watch Loveridge, now watch Wilson coming in there from his wing and just cutting against the tide, not a line in sight, and over for the try. And how excited he is.
Well, it's been a long time coming for Stu Wilson, but he hasn't scored a try in a test match since November of 1981. Alan Hewson. Great goal.
You can see now, Mexted makes the charge forward into it. Good defence by the Lions. Then it's out to the backs. There's a little double round by Taylor. Again, the Lions look like they've got it all wrapped up, but the ball comes out as Arthur Stone gets it. Now, from here, that the charge goes on John Ashworth, number 1, and watch Dave Loveridge running there to the right, and then there's Stu Wilson coming and takes it. The Lions, of course, cannot change direction in the conditions, and Stu Wilson had nobody to beat.
The kickoff has gone right down to the goal line. The All Blacks now in the lead by 12 points to 8. And Houston has sent the Lions back. You know, this rivalry thing between Houston and Deans is so silly. There are people in the crowd booing Alan Houston, and that's just crazy. He just kicked a very fine conversion, and that good 50-metre push up to just outside the 22. So now, how do the Lions feel? How are they going to react? The game at the 3-quarter mark. Campbell. That was Pokeri diving through the air at him. This is his first appearance in the All Black shirt at first 5'8". He's previously played second 5'8" and centre. Very fine player. In only his 7th test match. Hayden on the big jump with Colclough. Again, it's been a good battle between those two. Maxted and Wetton through. This is Calder. Winterbottom. Good work by Ian Paxton. Good play, Fitzgerald. Laidlaw. Calder again. And Winterbottom. Kicked away by Ashworth. To Kiernan. John Rutherford. Straight to Bernie Fraser. A high one that's coming out of the clouds. Bainbridge and Evans got it. In goes Fraser on, and the touch judge has got his flag out. Let's see what that's all about. Dick Byers going in. Maybe it's against Fraser. Watch here and see what happens to Bernie Fraser. Well, Fitzgerald had a swing. I don't think too much happened in there, but it was against the actions of Gary Wetton, I think. Not a big incident, though, fortunately, and play will resume near halfway. Dalton to throw. This has been a good game. New Zealand 12, the Lions 8.
Well, it's good to see the Lions looking more like a team than they probably looked for in the first 2 tests, and they're playing it very close, and they're supporting one another. In the last 5 or 10 minutes, of course, they're 2-0 down in the series. Perhaps they're starting to realise that perhaps there is a way to play against New Zealand sides, and that they've found it.
Here's Roy Laidlaw getting it. Deflected by Dave Loveridge, who's never far away from that ball. Another good game for the Taranaki man, David Loveridge. "15 minutes left in the match. Gary Wetton, Gary Knight. Next Hobbs and Paxton there. Loveridge. Bernie Fraser in there too. You see number 11. Back now to Rutherford.
Bernie Fraser, right hand being a flanker, loves to be in the action. And both wingers today, probably because they're a bit cold on the outsides, have tried to get into play all the time. So there's the 10-metre line there. And the New Zealand captain, Andy Dalton. Good tap by Wetton, but Loveridge is caught up there.
Lineouts are still favouring the Lions by 19-16. And the penalty count 9-7. 9 awarded to the All Blacks.
Ball going forward from Gary Wetton there, so the Lions get the scrum. The last 5 minutes has seen the All Blacks have command of this game through getting the ball. And of course, whoever has control of the ball has the most chances.
Roy Laidlaw, less than a quarter of an hour left in the match. Lions are 4 points down. The hands are getting cold. They must be for Ollie Campbell to have dropped one. The injured player is Stephen Pokori. He's okay now. So Loveridge away to Pokori again. The high kick. Evans. No time. Pulled up short of the Lake District there. And a dropout from the 22. Rutherford keeps it low to Hewson. High one. Bainbridge and Fitzgerald. Offside play by Murray Mixed, is it? Left in the match, which is at halfway. Andy Dalton, 6th game as captain of the All Blacks in tests today. Jump was from Mexted. And there's the big machine. See the New Zealand coach Bryce Rope and his co-selectors sitting in the row in the middle of the backdrop. Further along, wrapped in rugs, are the reserves. Wayne Smith off the field with a groin injury. He's in a lot of pain under the stand. That's Wilson through on Evans. He was outside the 22, couldn't claim a fair catch. Wilson bounces to his feet again, and he almost got the ball, but the whistle's gone. Penalty for the Lions.
So it's getting down to the last 10 minutes, and the Lions have got to win this test to salvage anything out of this tour. And they're not going to do it down that end. It's inside the 22, 12 points to 8.
Campbell going for distance off the penalty. So that line out counts pretty much level at the moment. Good take and move on by Hayden. There it is for Loveridge. Walker still kicking. Wide and skiddy. Well, who put the ball out? Yes, it was taken out by Evans, New Zealand's throw in. So that was another good kick by Stephen Porcari. I don't think he's let it on yet, Graham.
No, he passed it on.
He will.
The first 2 times he got the ball, he passed, and he realised it wasn't on, and he's kicked well. And now it's New Zealand's throw in. Could it go down the back again, perhaps?
Next in, and Calder got the jump. Fitzgerald through on Dalton.
Well, that one went to the back. I think perhaps Andy Dalton might try a charge around the front now.
Good crafty campaigner, the New Zealand captain. I think that's Hobbs with the ball there, driving through. That's the goal line. The big black machine. Peter Winterbottom breaks away. Into Calder. Dalton down in it. Darren Fitzgerald. The Worry Lions are there all right. 2 captains marking each other in this match, as they've done coincidentally through the last 5 games of the tour. Christchurch, it was O'Driscoll and Hayes, the 2 captains. Both wore the same number. Roy Later was also captain the Lions on this tour. In trouble here. Rutherford kicks it away upfield. Newson coming in. Whistle's gone way back down to the left though. So the scrum goes back for a New Zealand put in right down by the post, for the ball being lost forward.
Now this is where the All Blacks will go, probably to the left. Now Bernie Fraser could be in this move on the left, and Murray mixed it again.
32 minutes gone. 12-8 to the New Zealanders. Out to Porcari for the drop kick. Wasn't touched by anybody, so it's a drop out from the 22.
Well, it would have been a very good drop kick if it had gone over, but it's very wet, that ball, and as you drop it, it doesn't lift up at all.
So here's Campbell chipping. Gary Knight kicked away now, and Calder's chasing hard. Houston, no, he may have nudged that forward. No, the kick's going to count.
Well, what can you say?
Might have been a wee bit lucky, eh?
What can you say about Alan Houston today?
Fine kick right down into the corner again. And the All Blacks have dominated the game down in this corner more than any other part of the ground.
All they've got to be worried about now, the All Blacks, is that kick upfield by the Lions if the ball goes astray.
Loveridge finding a gap. Fitzgerald. Ball is out.
I think it's important that they do play it tight, and Dave Loveridge, the man right in the middle of that, because if they do throw it in the backs and someone drops the pass and a Lions boot gets to it and a couple of skittery moves, and suddenly the Lions could be on attack.
They're still within striking distance, but that All Black team has kept the Lions out of range. Ollie Campbell has only had a couple of shots at goal, and he's really feeling the cold. So Campbell, in fact, still hasn't kicked a goal since the first test. In the test matches, I mean. On the other games, he's gone right through to 76 points on the tour. This is 10 metres out. 12 points to 8. The All Blacks still in the lead. Inside the last 10 minutes. 6 minutes left, in fact. Calder to Laidlaw. But they're not making much headway out of that corner where New Zealand have dominated so much.
Well, they perhaps again go down the back and try for a Murray Mexted palm.
Mexted and Paxton. It was short to John Ashworth. Oh, Loveridge handled it beautifully, but could only take it out. Now, to everybody else on the field, that's a difficult ball to handle, except it seems this man.
Perhaps he's got something, an affinity with the ball, Keith.
Now, Danville. Touchdown. I think his intention was to run that ball if it had been a good catch.
Well, another 5-metre scrum, and perhaps this will be the one that the All Blacks take.
Loveridge. Warwick Taylor. Coming again for Loveridge. Oh, there'll be a penalty against Winterbottom. Offside, holding in Loveridge. And the All Blacks will not rush this one. They'll want the shot at goal to put them out of range on the scoreboard.
There's the charge move by Warwick Taylor, puts his elbow into Jim Calder. There goes Jock Hobbs, straight there over the ball. Now watch Winterbottom, there he is, offside in front of the ball there. You can see he's not bound, he's offside.
So this is the kick that could put New Zealand into a situation where they will win the series here today. And the man to take it is the controversial man of the New Zealand team who's played so well today in the wet, Alan Houston. And good enough. New Zealand out to 15-8, and the Lions have to score twice to win. And that's 4 successful kicks in a great game today for Alan Houston. And here's the view from behind the goal of the kick, which should give New Zealand the series. So from the kickoff, back live. The All Blacks out by 7 points now. They've got a weak cushion to play with at the moment. And the Lions have only been up in their territory momentarily in the second half.
Yes, at one stage the Lions did have a good period of about 10 minutes where they started to look as if they were going to take command. They got a good try, and they started to keep very close to one another, and the All Blacks looked to be in trouble, but slowly the All Blacks took control.
Campbell, what a lovely piece of play that was. Straight through to Houston. Hurries his kick down to Paxton, is it? No, it's Gwyn Evans.
Yes, it's no use kicking it now. Gwyn Evans tried to run it, and
2 minutes left in the match. And a game played on a very cold, wintry afternoon. And are these men going to run it if they can get it? Again, it's the New Zealand throw-in. It's a very good New Zealand side that can withstand the Lions playing their best test of the series. And I think they must give credit to the New Zealand team. The Lions began strongly. They scored that try first in the first half and the one after half-time. The All Blacks have come back to get the lead.
so the scrum's got to come round, says Mr. Byers. The Lions must have something out on the backs from this move.
Fraser takes it out. And it's over. It's over. And the 1983 Test Series has gone to New Zealand with a third Test victory by that score of 15-8. Well, there were 15 heroes in the team, but Stu Wilson, by scoring the try that equals the record for all-time Test performances, is one of them. So too is Alan Houston, number 15, who kicked 4 excellent goals out of the mud with a slippery ball. But it is a day to remember for New Zealand rugby. They won the first Test 16-12. They won the second 9-0, and they take the third 15-8. And the Lions, in a sporting gesture, clapped them off the field.
Hey, Stu, you want an interview?
A bit cold, mate.
Hey, just very briefly. Stu Wilson, at long last it came. You haven't scored a try since, the test in France in 81. You finally got the record.
Long time ago, isn't it? Hell of a long time.
Were you waiting for... you must have been feeling so bad about all the time that you've had to wait for it.
Well, it's just good to get it on the day we take a series.
All right,
Okay,
Stu, well done.
ciao.
Let you go. Thank you. It's so cold out here. And the heroes of the All Blacks coming off the field. And now, Captain Andy Dalton. Andy, just briefly, congratulations. The series is won, but it was a struggle for a long time, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Conditions were very difficult out there, Peter. I think we struggled to get any sort of control at all, and it was just keeping the pressure that we were able to down there in for a few minutes. It got us that try of Stu's. I think he'll be very happy tonight.
It seemed that it took a long time for the All Black forwards to get the dominance up front.
Well, we struggled the whole game to get dominant, Peter. Lions forwards, I thought, played well in the line-out, controlled the border better than we did, and we seemed to get ourselves into trouble too often going back, but it came right in the end. And I thought the sustained pressure the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so was excellent stuff.
And of course you had that massive territorial domination in the second half, didn't you?
Yes, it didn't seem that way at any stage, and they scored from our half. I think at any stage they could have come back, so we weren't overconfident at any stage.
And Andy, as far as the fourth test, I guess it goes without saying you're keen to make it, very keen to make it a clean sweep now.
Well, the pressure's off the guys as far as the series goes. I think they'll be looking forward to getting out, enjoying themselves, and just having a great game. And I just hope it doesn't turn out to be one of the French-Australian clashes that we've had in the past. Perhaps it might go our way this time.
Andy Dalton, congratulations on winning the series. I'll let you have a well-earned shower.
Thanks, Peter.
And now, Kieran Fitzgerald. Well, Kieran, for a long time in the second half, you had the lead. You must have thought that today was going to be the Lions' day.
Well, I never think that until the last minute of any match. So certainly a very, very hard battle. And obviously the conditions dictated that it was going to be won or lost up front. And I think really in the second half, the All Blacks with their territorial dominance, they ground their way to a victory.
And it seemed today, though, that in the lineouts it was the Lions who were perhaps getting more ball than the All Blacks, which is a turnaround from previous tests, isn't it?
Yes, well, I think in the second half of the last test, obviously the All Blacks cleaned up, so we knew we had to get possession if we stood any kind of a chance at all. And I thought our pack played well, battled very hard. But the All Blacks, in fairness to them, full congratulations to them. They had that territorial dominance, and we never really got out of there. So it didn't really matter how much ball we were winning once we were being held down in our half. And
further out, John Rutherford seemed to make a difference to the Lions midfield. He looked a very good player today, didn't he?
I wouldn't single out any player today. I thought all players, because of the conditions, we needed everybody today, and I thought all players played well today.
Kieran Fitzgerald's well played today, and I hope that you can salvage something from the fourth test.
So do I.